So you've already met our next speaker briefly, but I'd like you to introduce you to him. Gary Gradley. And I hope I pronounced that right.
That's close enough, Gradley, but sure. Just don't call
Gradley,
me late for dinner, right?
There you go. So he's a professional for 23 years. Gary ran a successful national corporate training business and a personal development coaching business, working with over 20,000 leaders and employees and individuals throughout Canada, US, and Australia. He's a trusted advisor for many national corporations throughout Ontario. And until the last 2009 recession, when he shifted direction and founded On Purpose, People Perform, with a mission to help thousands of people know and pursue their purpose to make a positive difference in the world. Gary's the author of The Kingdom Promise, How Leading Characters Choose Faith. Of course, you press a button and you lose direction. Let's get back to that. Gary's the author of The Kingdom Promise, How Leading Canadians Choose Faith to Conquer the Storms of Life. Well-known personal development expert Bob Proctor says, I've known Gary Gradley for 20 years. I know he has committed his life to refining the best process to rediscover your life purpose. If you want to live a great, on purpose, abundant life, then you definitely want to listen to what Gary has to say. Please welcome Gary.
Thank you, RJ and Curtis. You guys are doing an incredible job. Tons of value here and extremely professional. So I'm grateful to be part of this. And so we can continue to add value as to the Better Life Symposium, as you are, as that's your mission. And it's really clear. So I commend you and encourage you just to keep, I know you're going to keep going and until the next one. So I'm excited totally to be here and to share also of value in terms of the topic that I'll be speaking about, and maybe some of you can relate to this, is how to have more peace, success, and rest with less stress. In essence, we're going to find out it's by reigniting your passion, your purpose, and your power in 2022. So who would like more of peace and success and less stress and more power in 2022? Yeah. Absolutely. And so so I'm really going to ask you to really lean into this. So please engage, and you probably have been, but let's continue to engage your mind and your heart and your soul and your emotions to participate and interact with these ideas and these questions. This is really an important conversation we're going to be having. The conversation where you can respond in chat or write things down if you're not there or watching the recording. Like, grab a paper and pen for sure, please, and lean into this, because this is going to increase your learning and retention, as we know. And so for me too, I definitely wanted more peace and success and rest and power. And I found a secret. Who would like to learn more about this secret? Yeah, absolutely. And so actually, first, I'd like to ask you, just for your own sort of context setting, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high, where would you say your life is at currently? Just intuitively, where are you between 1 to 10? And also for your business, for your career, where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, great. And I'm guessing we all probably want it to be higher. Even if we're already high, we want it to be even higher. So I'm going to unpack here how we can do that. Literally, the best way to have more peace and success and rest and less stress, and that is by having a deep passion or a clear, inspiring purpose. Knowing your why. And yesterday we talked a lot about that. Jim Hetherington, who did a great job just before lunch, also referenced that in terms about the power of passion and purpose. And we know that it really gives us assurance and fulfillment and focus and drive and power and performance. And so let's get more in touch with this area of passion for yourself. And so I want to ask you to recall a time when you were most passionate, like you were on fire, you were on top of the world, you were loving what you were doing. Maybe it was a project or a work or something else. And so actually, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes just for a moment or two. So please close your eyes. And so just think of that last time or a time when you felt that way, when you felt on top of the world, powerful, like high energy, focused, And so just an example, I know for me, one of those times was when I was in Sydney, Australia, 15-year goal to do, corporate training there. And we arrived there and we went for the Sydney Harbor Bridge walk. You walk on top of the big bridge, which was amazing, a view. So whatever it is for you, recall a time and what was happening in your life. Why were you so excited and high energy and focused and passionate? And recall some of the sensations that you had in your body. What were some of the emotions that you were experiencing? And what were some of your thoughts? And what results did you experience when you're in this state, this highly passionate, focused state? And what difference did it make? And did it help your performance? I use the word performance, which ultimately creates results. What difference did it make? So I encourage you to, as you begin to open your eyes, jot a few of these things down or enter them in chat. And we'll have an opportunity to do one or two more of these, connections, with eyes closed and so on. And so the key here is that, that was an experience you had, but we can live our life more like that most days, not just for periods of our life, but most of our life. And that's where the key comes in, which we're going to be unpacking here. Really is that the key premise here is that your greatest passion drives your current purpose. Your greatest passion, your greatest one, because you probably have a few, but your greatest one drives your current purpose. And the clearer you are about your purpose, the greater the life that you will live. Who would agree that the clearer you are, that the greater the life that you in fact live? And because passion and purpose enables your personal power. So let's talk more. Let's talk more about passion. So I'm going to ask you to just define passion. What does it mean to you? So you can enter in chat, please, or just write some thoughts down. What does passion mean to you? And to help that, perhaps think of some of the most passionate people that you know. I know the person that comes to mind immediately is Bob Proctor. I worked with Bob for 5 years, many years ago. And clearly he was a passionate, powerful, on purpose person. Who are you? Jot down 2 or 3 names if you could, please. And what did you see in them? Describe their characteristics when they were in this, passionate, on purpose kind of place. And what did passion do for them? And what do you see in them that you want more of yourself? Those highly passionate people. And what do you experience when you're passionate? What does passion do for you? So I'm just going to share my screen here, just some of my thoughts around passion, the power of passion. And it's really the fuel, it's the fire and the fuel that powers one's actions in life. So someone might agree, yes? And nothing great has ever been, the greatest, nothing great in the world has ever been accomplished without passion. I love that quote. And as well as the next one, that the greatest force on earth is the human soul on fire. Like the human soul on fire. There's power there. There's focus there. There's infinite potential there. And I like what Steve Jobs says about people with passion can change the world for the better. And he's talking about himself now. And my passion for my work made all the difference in the world. I think we can agree that Steve Jobs and the creation of the iPhone was pretty impactful in the world. And that was driven largely by his own passion. And so the question then ultimately becomes is, is, where does passion come from? Like that's a pretty important question, isn't it? Where do you think? Where do you think passion comes from? Where do you think your passion comes from? What is the source, do you believe, of that passion? I love this image here of this little squirrel. Follow your heart to the source of that which refreshes your soul, and drink deeply from it. And to me, it's the source is our heart. That's the source of our passion, and it's from our heart that our passion is expressed. It's the expression of the longing and the calling on our heart. Passion is really just another form of love. When we fall in love with something, we fall in love with an idea, and from your heart then comes the passion which leads to your purpose. So who can relate to that? It's from your heart. I know for me that, I follow my heart. I don't know how, I just do. And whenever I do, it leads me to some great things. And you can discover your purpose then as you follow your heart. We're going to talk more about that. Or the other possibility is that you already know your purpose, maybe even as a young child. You just had a knowingness what your purpose was. And so then in that case, then that purpose then leads you into your passion. So as we're saying here, right, your greatest passion reveals and fuels your current purpose. And it's that greatest passion that drives your current purpose, or your current purpose provides your greatest passion. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so let's keep going here, because it's the power of following your heart and your calling, which is, we want to understand this more and more. And to me, it's really like its purpose is always there in your heart, your soul, your subconscious, your intuition, and it's like buried treasure, yeah, in your backyard. You don't create the treasure; you just simply uncover it. You don't create your purpose; you simply discover it. So let's discover more about this, and it's really about increasing our intuition and our trust of that, of following our heart. And when we talk about inspired action, right, that's when we're inspired and by our heart, our intuition, and then we step into action. Inspired action is probably the most positive action we could take. So calling. Calling. What's this calling, Gary? What's this calling on your heart you're talking about? So a calling, like on your heart, your emotions, your soul, is where you're being pulled towards or called towards by your heart, that emotion, that feeling, or it's a longing or burden for maybe a specific, want to make a specific difference in a specific area, or for a cause. You have a burden or a concern or great care for a certain cause. It could be helping disabled people, or helping the poor, or reducing the poverty, or reducing the global warming, or whatever it is, whatever that calling might be that's on your heart. It's very unique and individual. And so let's ask you again, more specifically, what do you sense is the calling and burden on your heart? What is your heart saying to you, especially in times when it's like you're quiet? What's the tugging and pulling on your heart? Where is it leading you towards? And maybe you're not really sure, which is most people actually. And who would love to have a clear, inspiring calling and purpose? Who would love that? Because that's where the power is. And what difference do you want to make with your life? And if you are following your heart, what's been your experience? Those times when you followed your heart, maybe the time that you just recalled, when you're passionate and highly focused, did good things happen? Was there growth? Was there learning? Ultimately learning. Maybe there were some challenges as well, but ultimately, I'm guessing that ended up in some success, certainly some growth. We talk about some of the great leaders in the world that we know of and recognize, like Martin Luther King, who just celebrated his day in the US last week, or Mother Teresa, all the grand people that we'd remember, like Gandhi and Nelson Mandela and so on. They were clearly following their heart. They were compelled to do this. They kind of had no other choice. They had to follow their heart. And what's even more powerful, really, is when we do that, that there is, in fact, this seed of greatness that really becomes alive when we are following our heart. There's a seed of greatness within you. And Jim actually said this as well. There's a seed of greatness within you, and there's truth and love and perfection in each of us. And it comes alive mostly when you are living on purpose. When it's just your soul's desire to make a difference with our life and leave behind, in essence, our legacy, what our life stood for, on the planet. Yeah. And so we have the power to create and reinvent our life and our business when we passionately follow our heart, our calling, the calling on our life, like I've learned to do. And I want to just briefly share with you my story. And I've had my own corporate training business for 20 years. I was the co-founder, and we did great work. I've worked with literally myself 20,000 individuals. We said that earlier, and a couple thousand every year, and really helping them to increase their performance at work, but also personally. Everything was going great, six-figure income, until the 2009 Great Recession. And my clients were mostly corporations. And so, interesting thing that during the recession, companies usually spend $0 on trainers and speakers. So here I am, I'm working extremely hard for an entire year, and there's zero income. And as the sole income earner in my family, I rack up $50,000 in credit card debt. I'm living off my credit card. And so that was a really difficult time for me, incredibly high financial stress and distress, very, very painful. I hope none of you have ever experienced that or don't experience that. And to the point where I literally became hopeless and cynical. And I'd never wish that on anyone. It's the worst place to be, being hopeless. And I after several months of feeling hopeless, one morning, I remember it clearly, it was a February morning of 2009. It was a cold, bleak winter morning. And I'm sitting in my side office over here. And I just came to the point where I was sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And I decided I would never choose to feel hopeless ever again. And the light bulb went off. I had an epiphany. I just realized, well, Gary, it's just a choice. You could choose to feel hopeless, or you could choose to feel hope. I decided in that moment I would never choose hopelessness ever again. So that was a critical change for me. And what's even more interesting is a couple of days right after that, my good friend Norm, who's known me for decades, and he knew the challenge I was having, he suggested, hey, Gary, why don't you transfer your skill set to a different industry, where it's doing better, like maybe a fundraising for a charity. Wow, I've never thought of that before. But immediately, the idea resonated in my heart. I actually fell in love with this idea. I didn't even know anything about it, but my heart fell in love with this idea. That's what we call an ideal, when we fall in love with an idea. So I followed my heart, and I found work with a charity, and I was loving it, and I was experiencing rapid learning and having strong success and fulfillment from the impact as a charity we were having. And I really began to reflect upon this. Very interesting. I'm having some good success here. I'm loving it. And I realized really then the power of following my heart, the power of anyone following their heart. And it inspired me to really document what I had done and to do a bunch of research on what's the connection between passion and purpose and performance. And they're all connected, right? When we're on our greatest passion, which is our purpose, we're usually high performing. And so I became a bit of an expert and on this subject, and it created a proven process to help others discover their purpose. And so now my burning passion is to help hundreds of people to follow their heart and to live on purpose and to be fulfilled and high performing and have high impact. And my goal this year, I call it Mission 2022, is 100 reawakened on purpose lives to help this hurting world. I think we'd all agree the world can use some help right now. So I'll share that more later on in terms of how we might be able to support you in living your greatest purpose, which in many ways is the first priority. We got to get clear on that first before we do a whole lot of other development work. So let's unpack this some more. The power of owning your purpose, you owning and knowing your purpose in life. As I share my screen here. And so a question for you, this is a very important question, is do you believe that everyone has a purpose, everyone on the planet has a purpose? What do you believe? Owning your purpose. Do you believe you, and most importantly, do you believe that you actually have a purpose? You may not know what it is exactly, but do you believe that it's possible that you have a purpose? Or absolutely already that you have a purpose. I mean, you are unique. You are one of a kind. They broke the mold, right, when they made you. So let's stop waiting for permission. Let's get on with our unique purpose. There's two most important days in your life, right? The day that you were born and the day that you discover why you were born. Your purpose. Discover your purpose. And this really speaks clearly to that. Viktor Frankl from Man's Search for Meaning, the book, many you recognize that. He was a psychologist who was in the concentration camp during the Second World War, and many observations that he had to say, but this is one of the key ones, certainly, is that everyone has their own specific mission in life to carry out, a concrete assignment which demands fulfillment. You cannot be replaced, nor can your life be repeated. The world needs you to show up. The world needs you. Yeah? Does the world need you to show up? Absolutely. Yeah. And I in that context, I'm believing as a man of faith that everything has every creation has a purpose, that God created everything with a purpose. Who might concur that everything in existence has a purpose of some nature? We may not understand what it is, but probably it has a purpose. And believing that God has designed you with your unique purpose and role in life. You have a unique purpose and role in life. So let's talk more about purpose. Let's define it a little bit further. So first of all, I want to ask you, and please get ready to enter in the chat or jot down your own notes. What is purpose? What does purpose mean to you? And how would you define the meaning of life? That's a big question, isn't it? How would you define the meaning of life? I'm just going to share our screen here. That's a big question. And so I would propose one way to define the meaning of life is that life is the journey of knowing and fulfilling your purpose. That's what life is. It's the journey. And as Robin Sharma says, that there's no greater purpose in life than to know your life purpose. There's no greater purpose than to know your life purpose and be acting upon it. And so again, so God is the creator. And so if you don't relate to the word God, then whatever terminology that you relate to, I mean, we know that 90% of the planet believes in a higher being, a supreme being, and so on. And so just use whatever word is more comfortable for you, or maybe we just use the word creator. The creator, the creator loves his creation. You and I are part of his creation. God, the creator, loves you and I, and he wants his creation, you and I, to be living on purpose to fulfill our purpose in our life. And for me, that gives me great comfort, knowing that the creator has a purpose for my life and everyone's life, and actually equips us for that purpose. The purpose really is that focal point and that goal for the fulfillment of your passion. It's really the longer term target. The purpose is really the longer term target that can fuel and sustain your daily passion. And so as we look at this in more detail, to me, this really, the purpose provides us that place of peace and success and rest with less stress. Why? I believe because when we're on purpose, we're in the center of the Creator God's will, in the center of the Creator's will, which gives you this experience of peace and joy and rest and success. And we're part of something bigger when we're on purpose, something bigger than ourselves, to have an impact, to love and serve others and make the planet a better place. It fuels production, a productive life, production too, a productive life. Again, I think of Bob Proctor, who was a mentor for me. And when I worked with him, I remember a time when there was some financial challenges in the business, and we were in a meeting, and I clearly remember him doing this. And he says, to stop me from doing this work of personal development and so on, that you'd have to put a gun to my head and pull the trigger to stop me doing this. He was basically saying he was investing his entire life in this and was willing to die for his purpose. And he was a totally productive life in that regard. And purpose, as Gandhi says, purpose is the most powerful motivator in the world. And I think you probably would agree. Those times when you were focused, and like you just recalled, when you were highly passionate, it gives us that high energy and passion and joy and fulfillment. It's just a great way to live. It's just, and confidence and focus and drive. Recall those times when you experienced that. And it really is a compass for our life as well. It gives us a focus and direction. And so we can say no, actually, the power and the no, if we know what our direction is with our purpose, then it's really easy to say no to things that are off purpose for us, and things that we would normally go down the wrong path, and we would be wasting a lot of time and money and effort. So when we have clarity on our purpose, then we can know we stay on track. We can be even higher performing. So, and that's also the clarity part, right? We know what we want our life to stand for and what we want to leave behind. It reminds me really, when I was a teenager, I was out west and loved the mountains. And one night I was out a bit of a party, actually, a bush party. We were having a great time. And here I am. It's a full moon, and the full moon was just kind of nestled between the mountain peaks, and it just gave me this strong sense that there was guidance here. There's a direction here that the Creator was providing a direction for my life. And same for us when we have clarity on our purpose. It shows us where we want to go, and therefore we can set the right goals for ourselves, which are 90% more achievable when we are on track with our goals. 90% more achievable for those goals. All righty. How are we doing? And so it's interesting, Maslow hierarchy of needs, we've all heard of this, but we don't necessarily think about it so much, in that the highest level of our need is self-actualization, our need to actualize our potential as humans, which means to fulfill our purpose, actualize our potential as humans, to fulfill our purpose. So it's truly a great need, even though we don't realize it. In fact, one of the top things that we, as business owners, entrepreneurs, need to have in our business and our life is a higher purpose. A mission and vision is crucial to the success of our business and our life. Yep. So I'm going to stop here. So I'm going to ask you one more time to close your eyes, because I want to just let's revisit. So please close your eyes for just a moment and begin to follow your heart here a little bit. And where would you love to be? What would you love to be doing more fully? How would you like to be serving people? What would that look like? Who would you be interacting with? What would you be doing? What kind of help or service would you be providing? And how are they responding? What's that look like? And what's that feel like? You probably see them happy and smiling and a sparkle of light in their eyes. that you've literally helped them, and the fulfillment that that you're experiencing, the joy, the passion, the love. Okay, open your eyes when you're ready, because I'd like to take us through just a declaration, and there's power in declaration. So a declaration is a statement that we're making publicly to others, and to ourselves also. And so in a moment, I'm going to ask us to repeat this together and with conviction. So let me just say it first, and then we'll do it together, and ask you to do it with conviction. So it's going to go like this in a minute. So I am so you're talking to yourself, right? And you're making a declaration. You're going to verbalize this no matter where you are. I am a worthy human being here to accomplish a specific purpose in my life, to better serve the world. It is my responsibility to rediscover, reignite, and act upon my passion and purpose. Okay, everybody ready? We're going to say this together with conviction. This is a statement you're making to yourself and to the universe. Okay, let's say it together. Ready? I am a worthy human being here to accomplish a specific purpose in my life, to better serve the world. It is my responsibility to rediscover, reignite, and act upon my passion and purpose. All right, good job. All right, so let's go on now to the power of clarity. The power of clarity. For you, the clarity of for you knowing your purpose. And Think and Grow Rich, many people know this as a classic of a book, and many people have built successful life and business around some of the key principles. One of those key principles that I really love, which is key here, is this quote here. Is that there is one quality which one must possess to win, and that is definiteness of purpose, clarity of purpose, and the knowledge of what one wants, and a burning desire to possess it, a burning desire to possess it. And that's really, we talk about focus, and we talk about the power of focus. And to me, it's kind of like a magnifying glass. It's so when we take our magnifying glass and the sun's energy rays go through it, we know it gets concentrated here and the other side, just like a laser beam. And we know there's power there because it's focused. And the focus is then the clarity of our purpose. So the magnifying glass to our purpose is clarity. And personal power then is clarity of purpose plus a burning desire, the passion to achieve it. So focus is clarity of power, and clarity is power. Yeah, who might agree? Clarity is power. That focus gives us clarity and power. Absolutely. Passion and purpose enables your personal power. Yeah, we concur. Think about it. Like, truly think about this. Well, when you are passionate on purpose, you have personal power, right? You are driven, you're focused. And again, the clearer your purpose, the greater the life you will live. The greater the life you will live. And the world is calling you and rewarding you for your purpose. I mean, with a purpose, and you've been given many talents and skills and strengths and so on to fulfill that purpose, I believe it's our responsibility to discover them and to use them and give them back to the world as we invest our life in our purpose to serve the world and for us to grow and fulfill our purpose. So let's not hold them back, because the world desperately needs you to show up on purpose to serve the world. And we know that, in essence, that the bigger the problem is, and the more value that we provide, the more impact we'll have, and the more reward that we will have. I know several people who are providing massive value to thousands and thousands of people, and they're being rewarded abundantly financially, certainly with fulfillment as well. Or, like the surgeon or the heart surgeon, there's a great need for their skill, and so they are rewarded abundantly, hundreds of thousands of dollars in income probably a year for that, and the fulfillment that we have the contribution that we experience, and the impact that you have when we're on purpose. And you're high performing, aren't you? So again, what's been your experience when you've been on purpose? Are you not high performing, higher performing than if you were off purpose and getting greater results? I think that's the case. Because when your business and your life becomes your greatest passion and purpose, then you will have the most powerful business and life through it. So when what you do, your job, your career, your business is all about fulfilling your passion and purpose, it's going to be the most powerful and successful, and allows us to choose the right goals and all of that. They're 90% more effective. And there are consequences to us not knowing our purpose. And for many people, a majority of people, they don't know what their purpose is. Jim earlier quoted, I think it was 85% of Americans hate their jobs. I've heard the quote here in Canada that 47% of people hate their jobs. Clearly, they do not know their purpose, or they probably would not stay in their jobs. And some people might have a hunch of what their purpose is, but they're not really clear. A few might know what it is, but they're not really acting upon it. I mean, it can be rather elusive, and yet it's absolutely critical to us living a successful, fulfilling life. So what's the impact when we don't have a clear purpose, when we don't know our clear purpose? As David Thoreau, a great philosopher, says that most people live lives of quiet desperation and even aimless distraction. I mean, social media is just totally distracting these days. But lives of quiet desperation. I can kind of relate to this. Several years ago, I was in a good job and I was doing well. But you know what? And I'm in the office one day. And I just had this deep sense, this moment of clarity that I was not on my purpose here. Like I need to. It was kind of like Groundhog Day. The movie Groundhog Day. It just kind of repeats itself. Like it's just kind of the routine. Kind of feel stuck or unproductive. Kind of spinning your wheels. I don't know if you've ever felt that way or are feeling that way. Unfulfilled, maybe kind of empty. Like, does your life really matter? And what I realized was that I was wasting my days here, and wasting my life because I was off purpose in this job. And our day is really the microcosm of our life. And so I made a decision. I had to move on. I had to follow my heart and to get more on purpose, and I did, and it worked out really well. And because when there is no vision, we know from Proverbs that the people will perish when we have no vision, when we don't know what our purpose and calling is. Yeah. And as Norman Cousin says, a political journalist, let this sink in, that the tragedy of life is not death, but what we let die inside of us while we still live, right? We lose our dreams. The tragedy of life is not death, but what we lose inside of us while we still live. Yeah, and so one day, but also the greatest cause of failure is the lack of a clear purpose and a good plan. The lack of a good purpose and a good plan. But ultimately, it's your choice, right? You are responsible. I am responsible. One day, you and I will be on our deathbed, as sad as that is, and we probably don't really want to think about it, but one day we will be on our deathbed. And the final bottom line question will be, ultimately, did you fulfill the purpose for your life? Yes or no? And I believe you're either going to be in a place of regret that you did not fulfill your purpose, that you didn't do many things that you could have done, or loving on people, serving people, taking risks, stepping out. You did not fulfill your potential. And so a place of regret is one place. And for me, that would be like literally hell. And like that would be suffering. That would be the worst thing for me to experience. And so I'm committed to doing everything not to end in that place, but to be on the other end of the spectrum, the other end of the scale, which the other option is for you, will be because we did live on purpose, that we're going to be in a place of acceptance and peace and fulfillment because we did live on purpose and did everything we could to fulfill our purpose and have great impact. So the key question is, where do you want to be when this time comes? Yeah, and we can't steer a parked car, right? And so I want to really encourage you to give yourself permission to trust your heart, to follow your heart. In fact, I plead with you, follow your heart, step out, take a bit of a risk, step into action, take a leap of faith, like just go for it. Like, we don't know how long we're going to be here. Like now is the time. Now is the time to get clear and act upon our passion and purpose. And so on a scale of 1 to 10 for you, how hungry are you to know and act upon your purpose and experience the best life? On a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at? And why? All right, 10, yes. And so why is it important to know and act upon your purpose? For those who know what it is, we know why. For those who you aren't quite sure, that's a powerful question. Why would it be important to you? Why is it important to you? Okay, so one last time, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes for a short visualization. And so, in fact, I'm going to ask you to stand up, please. Please stand up, just for 2 minutes. Literally, stand up. Please close your eyes. Okay, close your eyes, so just visualize that in front of your feet on the floor there on the ground is just a line, okay, that line. On the side of the line that you're at is where you're at now in your life, your current situation, whether you're off purpose or on purpose or partial, and what you're experiencing now. Okay. On the other side of the line is you clearly living on purpose, clearly knowing what your purpose is. And so again, just to visualize and see what that could be for you, what that is for you, the people that you are serving, the interactions that you're having, how you're doing that. Who are these people? What is the environment? What is the setting? How are you serving these people? And seeing the reaction, seeing their appreciation and love. And you feeling that fulfillment, that joy, that passion, it just fills your heart, that love, you're full of love of you serving through your purpose. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to make a decision. I'm going to ask you to, in a moment, step over this line, this imaginary line into your future self. As a commitment to yourself, a commitment in essence sort of to the universe. And you can also do that by physically taking a step forward in just a moment if you'd like. So if you're ready to step into your future and to literally make 2022 a breakthrough year, a year of expansion, because you're pursuing and discovering your God-given purpose. So let's go ahead. Ready? Let's go ahead and step over that line as your commitment, your decision to step into your future. All right, excellent. So you're ready to start living fully on purpose. You stepped over that line. Okay, great. So please go ahead and have a seat, and we're just going to begin to wrap up here. As I said, I would share with you how we can help you get that clarity on your passion and purpose. And we've had some great success in doing a variety of different programs in this regard. I'm going to share my screen here. Oh, just one moment here. So yes, stepping over that line. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So we are conducting a masterclass, a passion, purpose, and power masterclass. It's designed to help you level up and give you that greater clarity. We talked about confidence and commitment and performance on your passion and purpose. And so when you attend this, you'll walk away and have this kind of an impact for yourself to definitely reawaken that seed of greatness that's within you, that divine calling, which is absolutely within you, for that to be reawakened so you can follow your heart's desire, that you'll achieve greater clarity, guaranteed, greater clarity of your greatest passion and your current purpose. And you'll enjoy that the fulfillment that comes from that, from the power and growth of pursuing your purpose, passionately pursuing your purpose. And you will experience the power of thinking big and reinventing yourself, especially in this time of cultural confusion. It's easy to maybe think small, like, I don't know how I'm going to do this in this current climate environment. And we actually use through this process, which is very practical, very intuitive. And we also use the power of closed eye visualizations. They're very intuitive visualizations where people experience some really powerful divine wisdom, insights, and downloads. And how we do this, how this works, is that closed eye visualizations allow us to get around the ego, which often blocks us to seeing and feeling our purpose, which is in our soul, which the ego wants to block us because it's just trying to do its job to protect us. So that's why these are so powerful, and you will experience that and experience great value as we walk you through. We walk you through in hand through this proven process. And also, so the bottom line is you'll get clarity and confidence and commitment on your passion and purpose and be higher performing. Who would like more of that? Who would like to have more of this in their life? And this is what you will receive. You will receive the 4-hour session. There'll be two 2-hour sessions in the masterclass with myself as the online as the expert facilitator. Value $297. You'll receive a 35-page passion and purpose participant manual, $97 value, etc. And this proven process, which again is very intuitive and practical, some very profound exercises and models like the purpose model and the self-reflection time. And you'll receive the 2 guided visualizations in the process, but also the recordings thereof, one on passion and one on purpose. As well as you'll receive a 1-hour follow-up support and mentoring session from myself. So great value there, $568 in value for only $297. But certainly for the event here, a special price of $197, which is available until midnight this Friday, January 26th. So please take advantage of that. And so can you see the value here? Can you see the value here and the importance of really doing this first to get clarity on your passion and purpose, and then to do more of the development parts thereafter? So I want to share with you just a couple recent client success stories, just a couple short videos here, and then we'll wrap up.
Hi, my name is Carissa, founder of CCG Breakthrough, and I just completed the On Purpose workshop with Gary and Rosa. So I wear a lot of hats like coach, pastor, I'm a student, as well as a wife and mother. And what this workshop did for me was give me clarity on the multiple areas of my professional life. I was able to hone into the passions and strengths and really find that core purpose on what it is that I'm meant to be doing, and actually eliminate those extra things that were not serving me or others very well, or as they should have been. Some of the key areas for me that I'm taking away from this workshop is that, number one, the purpose, vision, and strengths and talents are more powerful than my fears. My fears tend to be that I'm not good enough. And I also liked how others invested in what they think my strengths are, and they actually told me what I'm good at. These are very revealing for me. I also learned that calling, mission, and vision is important to create a clear strategy for my goals. And vision boards are not that horrible like I thought. Actually, they really helped in clarifying what I want to do. So I really highly recommend this workshop for anyone that wants to find purpose and clarity in their life.
Absolutely. So just a couple more here, and this is Lorna George, who's a lawyer in this area. She says that the workshop helped me to crystallize my desire to empower Black women through home ownership, like having their own home, and through academics, through education. And so clarify that into a purpose and a passion. And while empowering Black women was my heart, I was afraid to verbalize it for fear of criticism. And in the workshop, I was able to verbalize for the first time this calling and this purpose. And my clarity and confidence and conviction to empower Black women has been accelerated and strengthened. And because of the workshop, I've set some aggressive purpose goals for 2022. And I'm grateful for Gary's wisdom and follow-up support, as I know he believes in me and my purpose, and I clearly do. It's going to have a great impact. And also Michael Hine, National Sales Manager, who working with Gary helped me to understand why what truly is important to choosing the national sales role was the right decision for me. Because before that, he was doing both national sales and marketing, and it was way too much. He had to make a decision. He didn't know how to make it. So we helped him to make, he got clarity by discovering his greatest passion and purpose. And so he learned that, and so he's lessened his stress in my life, and now feel for the first time in a long time that he's back to his true powerful self, and having started the year off of 22% above year to date. So he's learned that clarity is power. And one last one.
It was an understanding of where I want to be business-wise that would have otherwise taken me a long time to get to. Because as I was getting going in this particular area, for me personally, I was coming back from being a full-time mom. So for me personally, I was feeling my way into the industry and trying to find my place in it. I think it would have taken me another 2-3 years to figure out that community would be my focus, and that creating community with other freelancers would be how I would grow quickly. Finding the idea that I want to focus on communities and getting communication out to people's communities is my passion. And that was something that definitely came out of the workshop and that I've been pursuing since. One of the new ways that I'm applying that for 2022. I also, working with people, I've put more emphasis on joining up with other freelancers to work on projects together. So I think that's a real
Oh, sorry.
Real sweet spot for me, that I enjoy the company of other freelancers as they're working on these kind of projects. I think that was a huge one, to go after larger clients together. And for example, one of the projects that I've done since then was for the independent panel for pandemic preparedness and response, and that was working with Good Creative. And that panel is an offshoot of the World Health Organization. So I got to work with international academics as they were making a document that just informed the world about how we have done so far with the COVID pandemic. And it was something that was reported in international news, and hopefully will be read and used as guidance material for governments around the world. So I got to be involved in that project by collaborating with other people. And another one, in terms of going after big clients, one that I'm working on now, the interactive PDFs, that client is a major insurance company, the end client. So, with offices also in several countries around the world. So those are really nice big clients where you can feel you're making a big difference in a lot of lives. I guess I see the biggest impact is that I see myself as part of a bigger picture now that I'm aware of my desire to be a part of community, both with who I'm working with and also end clients. So before, I might have been thinking about each particular little client and me being their sole provider. So not necessarily partnering with other providers. But now I am, because I'm partnering with other providers and for larger clients, then I see myself as a part of the overall of a bigger picture. So it's really opened my horizons. It certainly facilitated the sort of revelation that this was how I would want to go forward, in something that would make me happy and also something that would grow my business.
So you can see that was a breakthrough idea that she got going through the program, like literally transformed her business. And so, yes, we ask you to join us because we know that the clarity of your purpose, you're going to lead a greater life. And so Passion, Purpose, Power Masterclass, in the chat, you'll see the registration link to learn more. There's a lot of information there you can digest, as well as would love to have a discovery call, see how this might be in alignment for you, how we can serve you, how we can get to know you better as well. So if we could please put that in the chat, the Calendly link, that would be great. And just as we begin to wrap up here, that also there's a bonus for those who register by end of Tuesday at midnight, January 25th, and you'll get the bonus of the Kingdom Promise book, which I co-authored. And this is simple but powerful. And the book, by the way, The Kingdom Promise: How Leading Canadians Choose Faith to Conquer the Storms of Life. And this is the book that after I made this decision never to feel hopeless again, I was led to talk to a number of business leaders, church leaders, and what I saw is how their faith how their faith overcame some major life crises. And when I saw that evidence of their faith, it actually literally raised my faith from like 2 out of 10 to like a 9 out of 10. And that was the key element that enabled me to pay off $50,000 in credit card debt, was the level of faith that I had. So I think this will help you too and raise your faith, as well as a 30-minute clarity coaching call for that. So extra value, $690 for, again, only a special price of only $197. So please check us out in the chat there. Go on the landing page, check us out. And as Bob Proctor says, right, I've known Gary for 20 years, and I know that he's committed his life to refining the best process to rediscover your life purpose. And if you want to live a great, on purpose, abundant life, then you'll definitely want to listen to what Gary has to say. Yes, thank you, Bob. And as we the dates. Yes, the dates. The planned dates are Tuesday evening, February 8th and 22nd from 7 to 9 p.m. And there's 2 weeks in between, so you have lots of time to do the good reflective work, which is where a lot of the power and insights come from, is going through these exercises. And if there's a challenge with those particular dates for you, just let me know and we will work out something that can serve you. So please join us. Come and join us and take advantage of this. And lastly, it's the power of decision, which is that these are all important components to getting clarity and acting on our passion and purpose. The power of decision, and like Think and Grow Rich says, that successful people don't procrastinate. They make quick and firm decisions. So I want to encourage you to do the same, to make a firm decision for you, and not let the procrastination or the ego's fear distract us. I mean, it's just trying to do its job to keep us safe. And we know that in uncertainty, there's risk and opportunity. Let's seize the opportunity today. And so I really want to encourage you to follow your heart and make a proactive decision for a better future in your life by going through this. So as an example of this, making a powerful decision, this is literally 30 years ago, and a Dale Carnegie rep was on the phone with me for 1 hour, and he was handling all my objections. He wanted to enroll me in the $1,000 Dale Carnegie course, which is a world-class course, and I had all these objections. And to thank God for him that he was more committed to my success than I was. And so finally, I agreed and I signed up. And I'm so grateful for him that he was so committed, just like I am so committed to your success, that I registered and it went great. And that was a critical transition point. Me saying yes to that transformed and changed the direction of my life. So I became a facilitator for Dale Carnegie. I then started my own corporate training business, and I would not be here today with you if it wasn't for this decision when he asked me to make a decision. So I'm asking you to kind of make a similar decision to invest in yourself and invest in this to get clarity and passion on your purpose. And I would love for you to be one of the 100 people this year who is going to get clarity on their passion and purpose and step into action, because again, the world needs you to show up and be on purpose. So please, as I conclude here, please follow your heart, follow that quiet voice within, which is always the best decision, and come and join us on this exciting journey. So please go ahead and register and join us, or book a discovery call with me to learn more. Because remember, the two most important days of our life are the day that we were born and the day that we discover why we were born. So make today that day where you discover why you were born by taking this first step to learn more about your purpose. So follow that quiet voice within. And so thank you, RJ and Curtis. This has been great. And also in the link is a download for.
Thank you.
So I'll just wrap up here that there's a download for the free gift of this powerful passion visualization, guided visualization recording. Very, very powerful. So I encourage you to take advantage of that, as well as the complimentary clarity coaching call link there as well. So thanks, guys. It's been a pleasure. Loved it. And you guys are doing great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gary. What an amazing presentation. Again, you'll notice the synergy. Again, Gary is teaching purpose, passion, and power. Gary, those are there's 4 steps in the Power in You section of my program. And I've told you this already: purpose, passion, power, and pride. So the synergy is there. Gary teaches a lot of the same things, and he's a lot more advanced at it than I am. So this is a more deep dive into the purpose and passion. And I believe passion and purpose can be interchangeable. You know what? Sometimes you discover your passion and you run with that, and now you find that's your purpose. Or maybe you discover, this is what I want to do. This is what I know I belong with in my life. And your purpose can now develop your passion. So the two of those can be interchangeable.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's all good. Yeah.
And like I said, you know what? Maybe I'm not the coach for you. So maybe this deep dive into this purpose, passion, and power masterclass is the program that you need. I recommend it. Look, purpose and passion are going to lead you to that better life. They're going to help you discover who you are, what you want to do with your life, and walk into that life. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. What an amazing presentation. I want to, again, draw some attention to the words that the people are using this weekend. It's almost like I asked them to use these words. Have you noticed? Love your life. Choose. Choice. Better life is a theme that's come up today. Your purpose, your passion. These are all things that I've said throughout the weekend. You've heard from almost all of our presenters some of the similar words. Why? Because it really is. These are the messages that not only that we know, but we believe in. Look, you heard from Gary earlier that Bob Proctor would not give up his beliefs. He would rather take a gun to the head than give up. And that's what it means. It's not he's saying, no, you're going to have to take this out of me. Otherwise, I'm not going to. What it is his principles. These are so deeply ingrained that he would not give up his principles. I thought about that when you were giving that quote. I thought, would I die for this? Would I give up my life? And it's not something I can make a choice of. It's something that's so ingrained in me. These are the words I live my life by. That's what passion and purpose is all about. So get your hands on the Passion and Purpose Masterclass. Use the link in the Facebook group here on Zoom. Get involved in that. But again, connect with Gary. Gary's given us his Calendly link so you can connect with him. But don't forget to let people, for these bonuses, know that you came from the Better Life Symposium. Use our promo code 22BLS, right? 22BLS. Use those codes when contacting any one of our speakers and our presenters today. So next, I'm